of the year. His previous best start was 9th at St. Pete. His best finish so far came 3 races ago on the oval in Iowa. Rookie Simona Di Silvestro has her best career start. Alongside her will be Ryan Hunter-Reay. Starting 9th, Justin Wilson, last week's pole sitter, and 10th will be Rafa Matos.
And Rafa Matos, this is his best starting spot all year. He's won on this track before in Atlantic. He's a talented driver. Can today be his day?
Row 6, Hideki Muto and Thomas Schechter. In the 7th row, Takuma Sato and Mario Moraes. Home country favorite Paul Tracy and Marco Andretti are in row number 8.
And you saw that Paul Tracy was right behind 2 teammates. Remember, Paul is always a fast starter, but last year he punted his own teammate, Mario Moraes, in the very first lap. He hopes to avoid that one this year.
Back to row number 9, Mario Romancini and Alex Lloyd, a couple of rookies in the series this year. The 10th row consists of Alex Tagliani. We met him and his race shop just a few moments ago. And Bertrand Baguette. Danica Patrick starts inside row number 11 and Dan Weldon to the outside. The 12th row in today's race, Vitor Meira and Tony Kanaan, who crashed during qualifying and has to start at the rear of the field. Milka Duno also did not qualify, so she will be starting in 25th position. 4 different teams have won the 5 previous races here in Edmonton. It's an airport, Jan, and a interesting race course.
It's a fantastic layout, and when you look at it from a satellite, you can certainly see it's a nice combination of runway and taxiway. And one of the interesting things is how the beginning portion of the lap is fairly smooth with a nice passing zone, a nice wide passing zone in red highlighted in turn number 1. But 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up until you get to the exit of turn 8, it's fairly smooth. Then high-speed bumpy circuits with a great passing zone into turn 10. Then bumpy high speed again with a passing zone into 11. And then fly through the fastest chicane, making the fastest temporary circuit that they race on.
Okay, let's take a view from the cockpit of the car. Here we are with Ryan Hunter-Reay. Look at all that pavement there. We talked about the airports and the runways. It's so wide here. And what's difficult for the drivers is to pick up reference points out on the circuit when it's this wide. They don't know necessarily where they want to be. Also, what it does is it makes it very optimistic for the drivers with those walls being so far back and all that pavement is maybe I'm going to challenge that corner a little bit more. It is a bumpy circuit, not just with the runways, but also hitting those curves. Look at Paul Tracy just hammer that curve in turn 2. Watch it in slow motion. Will Power. He's going to hit that curve, which you want to do that. That's the shortest way through the corner. But then the thing is to get that car to settle and stop bouncing so it hooks up. Look at it in freeze frame. There we go. Paul Tracy, all wheels off the ground. So a busy, tough, physical racetrack. Jack?
Guys, unlike most of the racetracks that are road courses or temporary street courses, you don't see a lot of yellows here at Edmonton. In fact, if you take a look at the past couple of races, they've only had a total of 11 laps and 2.5 yellow periods. Now, here are the keys to remember. You got to get 2.9 miles to the gallon. 30 laps is your pit window. So because of you're so close, here's what's going to happen. You're going to be in a situation where somewhere along the line, you're going to have to short pit, and that's going to be the strategy. You want to be the first. Guys?
All right, all but 4 drivers going to start this race on the alternate reds, and the green Apex Brazil green flag is out, and we are racing in Edmonton.
So is everybody all clean as they sort themselves through all that pavement? It's looking pretty good.
Got a lot of racetrack to work with.
TK on the high side there, starting in the way back in the green and white 711 car.
You can bet he's going to make his way to the front of the field as quickly as he can. Looks behind Danica Patrick for an opportunity there. And Milka Duno has spun already. And as Lindy Thaxton told you on our pre-race show, she is on probation from the IZOD IndyCar Series officials.
And if she's still got a fire in that engine, she should be able to loop that thing around and get going and not have any yellows here. So let's hope that's the case.
Will Power and Helio Castroneves running first and second. Dixon and Franchitti are third and fourth as the Homatro safety team goes to the car of Milka Duno. Meanwhile, back on the racetrack as they come out of turn number 12, it is Will Power still leading. Here's that really rough section, 13 and 14, and on to the straightaway.
Looking off of Justin Wilson's car, right back there.
Justin's running 9th.
looking back at Rafa, who I said at the top of the show, this has been his best qualifying effort. And Rafa has won on this circuit before, back in his Atlantic days, so he knows how to win here.
Paul Tracy, by the way, has moved up to 11th position in the first lap, and Tony Kanaan up to 21st. We're on board with him, and another car is off
that
course.
That is Rafa, you know. Oh, man. So now I feel bad that I just said what I said.
Well,
oh, he's bent something, guys, or he's got a flat in that left rear.
Anytime you see the right front come up, that means there's a problem with the left rear.
Oh, a little push from PT.
And that is what PT has called the chrome horn.
Well, you know, you had just said how much Tracy had moved up. There's the hit, a little tap to the left rear. Sure enough, that's why it's flat. But you had just said how many spots Paul had moved up early, and he had moved up last spots. He's almost guaranteed to challenge guys to move himself forward on cold tires. But you never want to do it that way. I mean, that's a tough day for Rafa. He's got to get back to the pits and get some fresh rubber.
Will has opened up about a 0.7 of a second lead already on his teammate Elio Castroneves. And more on both Power and Elio from our IZOD Performance Pit Center. Jack?
Elio Castroneves makes no bones about it. He kids about changing his name, Will Power, to William Power. But what he told me before the race is he has made a study of the way Will Power races around the racetrack. He said the one problem that I have, I'll try the lines, but Robbie, one of the things he says as we look at Rafa Matos taking out those tires, he said Will Power is a left foot braker. I've tried it, I can't, and that he feels is the difference between he and his teammate Will Power.
Well, you definitely have to think that Elio, when we see what Will Power has done and been so absolutely fast on these road courses in qualifying, and when you're his teammate, you have access to his information, you got to go back and study it and say, hey, where has this guy beat me by a couple tenths here and there? And, you know, Elio is as good as it gets in terms of racecraft, sheer speed, and laying down a lap. So he wants to pick that part and say, hey, where is William? Not Will Power, William faster than me.
And when you talk about switching from left foot braking to right foot braking, Dario Franchitti is a great example. He's still right foot brakes. He's following Scott Dixon, his teammate, which is still a left foot braker. Very few people make that transition once you're far in your career. The exception to that is Paul Tracy. Paul Tracy got beat handily by A.J. Allmendinger, and he had to figure out how to switch styles.
Tony Kanaan started 24th. He is up to 19th already. Kanaan up to 19th here in the early going.
So he's looking at Bertrand Baguette right in front of him, and a really crucial area where there is a good passing zone is you're going to come through this fast section. This is a 140-mile-an-hour chicane right here, and if you can get through here really fast, this sets your speed as you go into turn one, where it's a really wide, good passing section. Right now, Tony's not close enough to poke his nose in there on Bertrand.
Baguette is just ahead of him, and Alex Lloyd is up there, so is Mario Romancini, and Lindy has more on Tony Kanaan.
Yeah, guys, this is a big number race for him. This is his 125th consecutive start. He actually leads all the active series drivers. He's only 13 short of the record held by Scott Sharp, and he's the only driver in the series right now. He's completed every lap this season. That's 1,359. He's actually the only driver in major motorsports history to complete every lap in an entire season. Get this, back in 2003, Bob, he completed 3,305.
Yeah, he is the only driver who has completed every lap this year, too, Lindy. On board with Ryan Hunter-Reay, running in 8th position through this turn 13 and 14 segment onto the front stretch. Will Power has now led in 10 of 11 races this season. The only race he has not led was the first oval race of the season in Kansas. Continues to lead here at Edmonton. Basically a 5-car breakaway here. It's Power, Castroneves, Dixon, Franchitti, and Briscoe. Then about 5 seconds back is Simona Di Silvestro running in 6th, and E.J. Viso is in 7th position. Ryan Briscoe finds himself in 5th right now. And Ryan, what do you think about your fellow Aussie, Will Power?
It's a lot of fun having a fellow Aussie on the team, and he's from more of the countryside, you know. His accent's a little more rural, and we have a bit of fun with that.